Hey guys, Cranky Kaz here.
And the Chipster.
We're back with more House of the Dragon Season 2. We're on episode 5, just called Regent.
Doesn't really give that much away, does it?
It doesn't, but after the events of episode 4 last week, I can't wait to see what we've got.
I'm exactly the same. I mean, it was nuts, wasn't it? I mean, there was loads to unpack, particularly from that final battle that we had. We've lost Rhaenys, which is a big loss. I know you were like, she was one of your favourites, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she definitely seemed to be one of Rhaenyra's sort of most reliable allies, if anything.
She was essentially Rhaenyra's hand, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Did I say that I've fucked up my throat?
You haven't yet, but if it's not clear, her throat's fucked.
I can't speak very well, but I just wanted to watch this tonight. I just couldn't wait any longer. So yes, we lost Rhaenys, and I think we've lost Aegon. It certainly looked that way.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if Aemond was... because he had his sword out.
Mm-hmm.
When we
cut to it at the end.
Was he prepared to deal the final blow if Aegon was still alive? I think that
Quite
suggests
possibly.
that he probably was.
Mm.
And it was kind of weird when we were watching episode 4 because Squish 2 interrupted us a couple of times, so we ended up re-watching a few bits. But I've had some time to sort of marinate everything that happened. And I think Aemond and Criston Cole were obviously plotting together a lot. We saw that in the other episodes. I think they were planning for Aemond and Vhagar to be hidden so that whichever dragon from the black side came, basically they had Vhagar to use. They had backup if a dragon was brought onto the field. I don't think they were planning for Aegon to appear.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
But that's weird because there's been a lot of sort of suggestions throughout the series so far that, well, from Aemond, Cole, actually mainly Aemond and Cole saying to Aegon in the small council, don't go into battle, don't fight, don't do anything, we've got it covered.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of wondering, are you saying that to try and get him to go to battle at some point?
Maybe.
Or were they genuinely trying to protect him? I feel like it was the latter, that they were trying to protect him. But of course, Larys is there.
The snake.
Yeah, like whispering in Aegon's ear saying, ooh, Alicent and Aemond want to rule here. And I think that's maybe what made Aegon snap there, because Alicent just said she was really cold with him. She's basically like, fucking do nothing. Just stop being a pain in the arse. Just let cleverer people do stuff, and you just don't do anything.
I wonder whether she's going to feel any sort of guilt, maybe.
Massive guilt,
because she's going to be like, oh God, was it me who did that? But then obviously there were various other things as well, right? Because he was basically just sitting there thinking, no one on my council is listening to me, all that sort of thing. So yeah, he's obviously just gone, right, fuck it, I'm doing something, I'm getting on my dragon. And then it all went tits up.
I think Alicent has to, a lot of blame has to be placed to Alicent's door, because Otto's not there.
It was all her, wasn't it?
Aemond and Criston Cole were trying their best to fucking deal with Aegon. And can you really blame Aemond for snapping?
Aegon for snapping?
No, Aemond.
Oh, okay.
Aemond. Can you blame Aemond? He's getting bullied relentlessly by, we saw in the previous episode how, at the brothel.
Oh, yes.
He was getting the absolute piss taken out of him. I mean, I'm not saying it justifies murdering him with a dragon.
Yep.
But you can see how you might just snap. And I think that's what's happened with Aemond. I think he saw Aegon turn up and thought, you know what, fuck it. Because I think when the dragons were fighting, Aemond really, it was Aegon and Rhaenys were kind of fighting and Aemond was there. And I think he just thought, you know what?
Fuck it.
Aegon's a prat. He's got in the way.
You're not supposed to be here.
You're not supposed to be here. Collateral damage. We're just going to fucking go for it, Dracarys. So
yeah, that is interesting. You saying about it. I'd forgotten about that whole scene in the brothel with Aemond. I know. I remember you saying last time about how you sort of were starting to like him in some ways.
Yeah.
And I was there thinking, oh God, he seems a bit sadistic in some ways, but I'd forgotten about the fact we had seen those other scenes where he had sort of seemed a bit more vulnerable.
I think
so you see a bit more than just
I love Aemond's character. I think he's just really complex character, isn't he? I don't think he wants to be vicious, and I think if he had become king under different circumstances, if it had been him that was firstborn and he had Viserys's reign, he would have been a very wise ruler. But I think the circumstances he finds himself in and the bullying he's endured, I think it's turned him into...
Yeah, well, quite early on, obviously losing his eye in a scuffle, obviously, between the kids when they were kids. I mean, something like that you can imagine being the sort of the first cause of starting to go down that path, right?
It's an interesting one because I feel like maybe Daemon is like slightly mad by nature. I feel like Aemond is more like this is what happens with the nurture not being so good.
Yes, agreed.
But yeah, I mean, obviously his first, well, I say his first love, the what's her name in the brothel?
I don't remember.
I'm as bad as
yes.
Aegon. I can't, Celsi, whatever her name is in the brothel.
That one.
She said to Aemond, you know, it's the small people that lose out when kings lose their temper. Or when princes lose their temper, sorry. So she's foreshadowing what Aemond's just done. He's lost his temper at Aegon, hasn't he? And he's just, I think, if Aemond becomes king, I'm kind of worried.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything else we want to talk about before we get into the episode?
I mean, obviously we saw Daemon potentially starting to, continuing down that sort of madness route that he seems to be. Obviously he ended up being at Harrenhal and...
Is it madness or is it that Harrenhal has kind of got this reputation for being haunted? Obviously there was the fire set off in motion by Larys. So
very true.
There's sort of a funny element at play there. I don't know whether it's all just because of Daemon, but obviously Daemon seems to be feeling a lot of guilt over what happened with Jacaerys.
Yeah.
No, not Jacaerys. Jaehaerys? The Green's youngest.
Yes, okay.
I say youngest. I don't even know if it's the youngest. Anyway, the one who got his head chopped off. I feel like I'm fucking this up now. Shall we just get started?
Let's just get started.
Daemon's got loads of guilt. I feel like he's hallucinating because of that and because Harrenhal's how it is.
Yeah, but there's going to be fallout after the end of last episode, and I am here for that.
That was what was interesting to me. So I think that woman that he was talking to is a figment of his imagination.
You reckon?
I don't think she's there. I think it's his innermost thoughts. I mean, she's there saying to him, like, oh, I can't remember what she says exactly, but it's like implying that he's jealous of Rhaenyra's claim to the throne and that he wants it for himself. And yeah, I wonder if Daemon has been having those thoughts, that he does want to make a claim for himself, because he's taken Harrenhal and he hasn't told Rhaenyra that he's taken it. He hasn't sent a raven.
Very true.
What the hell's going to happen when he finds out? Because him and Rhaenys weren't on the best terms either. What the hell is Rhaenyra going to say to him when they find out Rhaenys is dead? Like, she was a massive ally for Rhaenyra.
She was.
So I have no idea how things are going to go for the Blacks at this point. I'm still Team Black. I still want Rhaenyra's folks to prevail, but I don't see how it's going to happen. I'm really worried because in terms of the dragons we've got, so we've lost Meleys and Rhaenys, obviously.
Yep.
So Meleys is no more. Sunfire, I don't know whether Sunfire's definitely wounded, possibly dying at this point. I think when they found Aegon looked like he was dead, but Sunfire was maybe dying.
Sunfire was still making noise at that point. Vhagar obviously is Vhagar. He did take a bit of damage in that. Meleys did sort of land some good scratches, it seemed, and obviously sent Vhagar to the ground. But obviously recovered enough to then finish Meleys off.
Rhaenyra's got her dragon, whose name I can't think of right now. And then you've got her son, Jace.
Yep.
He's got a dragon, although the dragon's quite young, I think, and he's not very experienced. Baela, obviously, we've seen her on her dragon, Moondancer. I don't know whether they're that experienced in combat. And I don't know if there's any other dragons on their side that I'm not thinking of. I think
they did take away some eggs,
They took away a load to Pentos. So
and Baela's gone with them.
And I'm actually wondering, you wouldn't know this because you didn't watch Game of Thrones. I'm wondering if that chest with the 3 eggs is the ones that Daenerys got.
Right, okay.
So I don't think they're going to be of any use in this series somehow. But who's on the green side? They've got Vhagar. Do they have any other dragons? I don't think they do they?
I'm probably not the best person to ask.
Okay.
But Vhagar's the only one I know of.
And the only other dragons I can think of that are sort of in play, possibly, are Rhaenyra's late husband. Because they've seen his dragon flying around.
Yep.
Which is interesting that was mentioned. So I do wonder what's going to happen with that. And I have a feeling that there was another dragon that was in the wild that I'm sure in season 1 there was one that Daemon was trying to tame.
Right. Gotcha.
Or there was talk of a wild one that they were going to try and tame. But again, not heard anything of that. But I think the Blacks are going to have to do something. Otherwise, it's not looking good for them. Anyway, we've yacked on for ages. I'll probably cut half of this out. Shall we just get going?
Let's go for it.
Oh, my throat. I'll just stop.
Save the voice.
Also, what the hell is Sir Criston going to say to Alicent? He is going to be in trouble.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God. And this is just after they had their little argument as
Yep.
well. Well, not really an argument, but I think Alan is a bastard son and she'd realised that. Mate, I feel the same. What's she going to do? Do you think she's going to lose it? Are we over in Pentos or King's Landing?
It looks like King's Landing to me.
Behold, the traitor dragon Maylis,
Oh, no.
slain at Rook's Rest by your king,
I
Aegon!
mean... Wait, you don't think Aegon's survived, do you?
My word, this is a black omen.
Oh...
Don't they realise we won the battle?
Strange victory, if it was one.
Yeah. So that's going to be Aegon's body, is it?
Yeah.
So interesting that they're not announcing that the king died there.
Well, yeah, they wanted to play it to be...
I thought the dragons was gods.
They wanted to play it to their advantage.
It's just me.
Oh god, they've still got the rat catchers up there.
Yep.
Jesus.
Well, Aemon's back. I suppose he had Vhagar.
Has he told Alicent? He's looking very pleased with himself.
He is, isn't he? He's not looking bothered, is he? At all.
But then the way they're doing this, it does seem that everyone knows he's died.
Well, certainly within the palace.
Ah, she's lost her son and now a brother and husband. Although maybe she's not that bothered.
She might be getting numb to it all by this point, of course.
She's definitely blaming herself. I don't know what she expected though. Like, he came to her for help.
Yep.
Is he alive?
His grace remains with us.
What?
So he's actually still alive somehow at this point.
I don't think he's going to be for that long though. Aemond may well get in there. I did just have a feeling. What happens if he survives?
God. Oh, squelching.
But is
Thanks
basically
for that.
like crippled.
Yeah. Well, basically, they're trying to like pull his armour off him, aren't they?
You know what this reminds me of? Viserys. I think she's going to end up... Maybe she'll do it.
Is my son going to die?
I'm afraid I cannot say. Now, if you'll excuse me, Your Grace, these next hours are most critical.
Oh, God. Thanks for that. Christ.
I don't even know what limb that was.
That looked like a knee to me.
He just doesn't give two shits,
Yeah,
does he?
he's... Oh, jeez.
Has he lost an eye as well?
Someone will have to rule in his stead.
That's all you're bothered about?
Is Alicent going to? Lemon juice to clean a sword. Interesting. Oh, is she going to beat him up now?
What happened?
We took the castle at the cost of some 900 men.
Really?
I've heard.
I left a meagre garrison behind to protect it, and the king's dragon,
Is
Sunfire,
that
was
all
long in
your-
the dying.
The king. Sir Criston, what befell him?
His grace fought valiantly.
What a dickhead.
And Aemond? What was his part in this?
Did he murder Aegon? Is that what she's asking?
I could not say.
Oh my god, they're in it together.
Our largest dragon has been killed.
No shame.
Criston Cole marches about the Crown Lands unchallenged. We still have no ground army but the one we hope that Daemon will raid.
Do you take issue with me, Sir Alfred?
My loyalty to you is proven, my queen.
But your willingness to give me deference in a time of war?
I could never doubt your capability or your quickness of mind.
But
The gentler sex, heretofore, has not been much privy to the strategies of battle.
she used to
Or their
be on the
execution.
council meetings.
There has been peace in our lifetime. You've seen no more battles than I have.
But she was in the small council meetings as a girl when they had the whole crab feeder thing. She suggested strategies to Viserys that no one fucking listened to.
If Cole pursues his campaign, our allies must be
We
ready.
must answer Rook's Rest and Duskendale.
They are lost already, but Vhagar is depleted after such a hard-fought battle. If we can strike King's Landing before their dragon is recovered...
Really?
Then I myself must do it.
My queen, you are the crown. It's out of the question.
What would you have me do?
It's admirable that she would go for it herself.
Yep.
They're not going to make her send Baelor. Would they really send Jace and Baelor? Oh god, how awful would that be if they both died together? You know, betrothed. I can just see it now.
Where are you going?
To Harrenhal, to treat with the Daemon. Rhaenys is fallen. He must affirm his loyalty to my mother and report his standing.
Oh wow.
And you think you will tame him? When the Queen herself could not?
My mother gladly sends you away. Whilst I'm here being forced to play the coddled princeling, it's humiliating,
She
Baelor.
only protects you. You are the succession.
then I must be seen to act for her claim and mine.
See his point.
I know, but I worry.
It's always a risk.
Because he's not Daemon's actual son, is he?
Mm-hmm.
The Freys. They control the crossing at the Twins. Cregan Stark's Greybeards are marching south. If his men had a direct route into the Riverlands, we would not have to wait for Daemon to act. I will treat with the Freys to secure it.
She will not like it.
Then don't tell her. Not until I'm away.
Risky.
The hour is late, and my dragon is hungry. You have no choice but to submit. Our terms are simple, Lord Bracken. Renounce the false King Aegon as a usurper. Bend the knee to me, or your house burns.
We choose fire.
Oh, shit.
Behind you.
I did not think they would be so eager to die.
You should have indulged them.
I need them alive. They would rather burn than succumb. Exactly the kind of men I need.
So promise them something. Talk to them.
May yet be possible, I think, for both of us to achieve our ends.
We have fought them for an age and more.
Then perhaps you could try less fighting and more
Talking.
persuading. There are things the crown itself must not be seen to do.
What's he suggesting?
I'd like to find that out as well.
Whatever it is, it would be of a morally dubious nature.
Over the
If the
centuries,
crown can't do it.
many and more armies have broken themselves against my bloody gate. Are you listening?
My lady.
The Eyrie itself is impregnable, unless, of course, we're descended upon from the sky.
You promised the Queen Rhaenyra 15,000 swords.
In return for protection, a dragon.
She sent 2.
Both still wet from the egg.
The dragons will grow.
I mislike feeling powerless.
So do I.
My sympathies for the death of your grandmother.
Did she know?
She does now.
She does now, I suppose.
The way they spoke at my small council today.
Do they hold you responsible for Rhaenys and her dragon?
I would rather they had. They speak around me, not to me. Oh, they would make me queen, but they wish to keep me here, confined.
They betray their own smallness.
In truth, I cannot fault them. I am now the sovereign. I cannot do as I please. And war has ever been for men to make.
You are your father's chosen successor.
He did not prepare me to fight.
It's really interesting how they're talking now, isn't it? They're like mates.
Shall your evening meal be served here, Your Grace?
Not now.
Sorry.
Is this a bad time?
Will you send to him?
For too long I have looked to him for strength.
She's too stubborn, isn't she?
If I must be supplicant to my own husband, what does that make me? The path I walk has never been trod.
Kristen Cole made a mistake. Parading a dragon's head through the streets like a prize of war. But the people see an ill omen. Bread is scarce. The king has fallen. They whisper to each other that when Viserys lived, there was peace.
So, the public are in her favour.
Do not underestimate your subjects. They are 1,000 living in the shadow of the Red Keep and forgotten for too long.
And you think they will turn to me?
To the discontented, rumors are feed. There is more than one way to fight a war.
I love these two already.
Had a feeling they could be a
power couple.
Yeah, go for the more strategic approach.
Oh, so she's sending her as a spy?
The thought of her lying in a field, broken amongst her enemies.
Did your grandmother ever tell you of the night she claimed Meleys?
She snuck into the dragon pit. My father was furious. His own mother's dragon, the fastest beast ever known, and she'd have none of him. But bent her neck to Rhaenys.
She did not always care for me, but for what she gave me in the end, I'm grateful.
I feel like she did care for her.
I wish I'd known her when
in
she
her
was
own
young.
way.
You are very like her in some ways, and with her gone, I must rely on you, I think.
That's what I'm kind of worried about.
Would you give this to your grandsire?
What's that?
Not entirely sure.
Daemon.
Who the hell's that?
You were always the strong one. The fearless dragon rider.
I don't know who this bint is, but I don't like it.
Your brother had great love in his heart.
Wait, is it Emma?
Viserys was unsuited for the crown.
Is it Viserys' wife?
Damon, you were made to wear it.
Okay, that's gone to another level of weird.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Yeah.
Okay then.
If only it'd been
It's not going to be like the childbirth scene, is it?
My favourite son.
Favourite son. Wait, is it his mother? Is he shagging his mother?
Is the duck not to your liking, Your Grace?
No, he prefers goose.
There's also goose, if you prefer it.
Love it.
I like the goose myself.
Nice little reference to the first series. Oh, wait. So is she there or not?
I'm not hungry.
It appears the winds have shifted and each side has suffered great loss and will be unsure of what is to follow.
A good time then for a show of strength. We must ready the castle to receive a great host. How does the work here progress?
We're drawing water for the kitchens and lighting the forges.
Very well.
That is merely the beginning, of course. The roof alone has needed tending since the reign of Aenys, and the storerooms and the whaling tower. The bats have made the corridors almost impassable with the quantity of
their shit.
There are smiths and armourers to be found near Nutton and Riverbend.
Well, send for them and levy the farmers from Antlers to High Heart. Task their huntsmen to bring us meat and wood.
There's, of course, the matter of payment. I rather thought, Your Grace, as emissary to the Queen...
You'd have some money.
That perhaps she could provide the necessary coin, if you could only write to her.
No.
They're both too stubborn.
I shall guarantee the payment myself.
Very well, Your Grace.
You should address me as my king.
But you're the prince.
What would you call the husband of the Queen?
Well, the king.
There it is, then.
Consort.
That last bit seems unnecessary, don't you think?
Oh, no.
His Grace suffered grievous burns over much of his body. I fear there are more injuries within. I must admit, I'm not sure he will ever wake.
Is he just in a
I've
coma?
applied my crafts to their fullest extent. Our king's fate lies with the gods now.
Or Aemond, if he's left alone with him.
A king cannot rule in his sleep. Let them hear of his great deeds at Rook's Rest. But now we must name a regent to take his place until he recovers.
A wise strategy, Your Grace. A regency will assure the people of the stability of the crown.
Who's it going to be? Is it going to be her or Aemond?
I myself served in this role for my husband. I am well prepared to do it again.
You played your part admirably in a time of peace, Your Grace.
But we're going to pick Aemond because he's a bloke.
The king does not lack for heirs. The obvious choice is his immediate successor, Prince Aemond.
Aemond is a fearsome dragon rider. His skill is best employed in the field, but my experience is needed here, at this table.
No offence was meant, Your Grace, but at a time when we must show strength.
Lord Larys.
I agree, Your Grace. It must be Prince Aemond.
Fuck off.
But the hand speaks with the king's voice, Sir Kristen. What say you?
He's going to have to say Aemond, isn't he?
He is.
Aemond is the next in line. It must be him.
It's agreed, then.
No hesitation. Go and sit in the chair. Let's go and fucking kill them all.
What is our standing in the river?
The banners of House Tully are in disarray, Your Grace.
I was trying to work out why it was so quiet, and I'm guessing it's because we're in her mind where she's just
that's
zoning
my
out.
guess.
Do you think she's just gonna... She's done so much, but, you know, she's lost 2 of her sons. Sorry, no, a grandson and a son. Because of her actions, do you think she's just gonna go and...
So have we all. Then let the gates be closed. No one is to leave or enter save with our consent. Merchants, so forth.
And he's proposing they all get locked in.
And someone cut down the fucking rat catchers.
The city's safe no longer. There is no food. Our neighbours are stealing from each other. We must get out.
And where would you have us go?
We should make for Tumbleton. My brother will have room.
You would have me turn beggar.
Are we not
I'm
beggars
trying to
already?
work out what role these guys are going to
Have you
play.
been paid for those machines you were forced to build?
The king has promised payment.
The king has lied.
And the king is dead, to be fair.
Knocking on
Pretty
death's
much.
door.
Well,
yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
By all means, stay and wait for his empty promises, husband. With them you can feed the mouths of ghosts.
Dog's still there.
Oh, still with his master after all that time.
Yep.
Yeah, it must stink.
Yep.
Presumed you'd be here, seeing faithfully to the Prince Regent's commands.
Aemond is the next in line. It is the order of things.
You know what he is, what he has somehow become.
You have something to do with it.
Has your loyalty faded, or does it flourish only at night and flee the sunrise like a moth?
He can't openly show his loyalty to her, can he?
What I saw at Rook's Rest.
What?
Their armour melted. There were men walking, they were on fire.
We have given the war to the dragons.
The Dragon Rider should lead us.
Interesting perspective.
And what of justice, of temperance, or is strength now to be our only god?
Have I not spared you? What we must do now is terrible. Is this who you are, Alison?
I did not ask to be spared. And I did not give you leave to speak my name.
Whoops.
Really interesting chat there. Oh, they're going to shut the doors, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's going to be mass panic. That feels like a really inexperienced move. Like, no food and you're shutting everyone in. Like, what was Aemond's reasoning for doing that? I was probably talking when he explained it.
Prince Regent, and protector of the realm.
Aemond. Does he mean the king?
I don't know.
You cannot keep us here!
To return to your homes!
And she's not looking well at all, is she? The last thing they need is to be stuck here.
Our Lord Grover Tully has not declared for Rhaenyra. Means death to bear steel against your liege, as I'm sure my prince is aware.
Jason Lannister is marshalling to the west. We need to check him before he reaches River Run. That requires passage.
Our hesitance does not lie in Rhaenyra as queen, nor in the ruminations of Lord Tully, the oaf. Our fear lies in Vhagar.
You fear a dragon leagues away when mine own sits outside your walls.
Do you offer us your protection?
I do, and the protection of my uncle.
Oh. And Daemon, I'm sure, has consented to this?
He will do as his queen commands.
It does lend us some comfort. Though it occurs to me that dragons cannot be in two places at once.
Or three.
What do you want?
A permanent dragon.
Larys Strong has been relieved of his castle. Does the Queen intend to raise up a new lord?
You want Harrenhal?
You can't give Harrenhal. Don't say done. Don't say done. Daemon's gonna put a spanner in that works. Oh no.
For that, my mother will want more than your crossing. Bent knees.
He's obviously trying to help.
Oh, I love the dragon in the distance there.
Oh, yes.
Such a cool shot. I'm not sure how that's gonna go down. What the hell? He's imagining stuff
got
again,
to be
isn't he?
imagining stuff. Oh look, there she is again. Whenever she's around.
I'm worried, like, is this foreshadowing or stuff from his past, or what is this?
You're born to wield a sword, but not so much an axe.
Let it not be said that Daemon Targaryen failed to dirty his hands in this war.
Oh, let me see them. Sit.
Alright.
I hear strange things from Brackenland, from Stonehenge, and Lambswold, and Moray.
There's news then.
News? No. What I hear in the wind. Cries of anguish. Children being taken from their mothers, men coming home to find their doors unlatched, their wives carried away.
War is a terrible thing.
This is not war. These are crimes against the innocent that any upright man would repudiate.
Surely you haven't mistaken me for an upright man. The Blackens had their chance to do as I required. They will perhaps think better of their decision if their children's lives are staked on it.
Is that the kind of army you would raise? Men who hate you, who serve you under duress?
Well, once they agree to serve me, I'll treat them fairly.
I can't work out what she is.
The rest of the Riverlands to follow.
And once again, in the name of power, it's the weak and the women who must endure.
Maybe she is just a servant.
That fool Aegon is unlike to survive. The realm will suffer if Aemon One Eye rules. You should pray you never meet him. He will cut you down soon as wish you good day.
I'd heard the same thing about you. But I'll cross you no further. I'm sure your tactics are, after all, approved by the Queen.
She cannot succeed, Alice. Even if I willed it to be so, the people who support her will not be led by her. They look to a man for strength. Who's better suited to it? The High Towers with their scheming? Or Viserys' first true heir? When I take King's Landing, Rhaenyra is welcome to join me there and take her place by my side.
Oh, wow.
Well.
And if you lose?
Then I'll be dead. And none of this will be my problem.
It's a pity, don't you think, that you never knew your mother?
Stop poking him with the sharp stick.
A message, Your Grace. Fresh news from Stonehenge. The
Where did she
Blackwoods have
go?
overwhelmed the Brackens.
Was there a
and,
door behind there?
Lord Amos has pledged his banner to you. House Bracken is yours.
Call Sir Willem here so that I might congratulate him. Blackwoods will be feted in these
I want to see if he moves, and if there's no door there, then oh no, it's got to an ad break. Is he imagining this woman or not?
Well, as she walked away, he looked at her.
Yeah, but I don't know whether he was looking like as if to say like, "What's Daemon looking at?" It could have been that.
I thought you at high tide. I was surprised when they said you were here.
My castle is a tomb. Empty. Haunted.
I am sad to have missed its highest days. I imagine your Hall of Nine filled with lords and kings, all eager to treat with the legendary Lord of the Tides. The wealth you brought back from Yi Ti and a shy, inspiring awe. I wonder if any of them knew it was all for her. Queen Rhaenyra wishes to name you Hand.
He's like, oh, great.
Even the death of my wife does not content her. She not asked enough of my house.
Wow.
It is a sign of her great esteem.
Or does she think the position will compensate me for my loss?
Pledge your peace to King's Landing, then. They will accept it most gleefully.
Rather, I would sail into the west and be lost.
You have done so before, at great cost to yourself and those who loved you.
I love how Baela's just saying her thoughts.
Rhaenys was not only your wife, she was a Targaryen princess, the queen who never was, and she flew to Rook's Rest of her own will, in defense of her kin.
And she died.
She died as she would have wished to die, with honor, in Dragonfire, the way my mother chose, and the way I myself wish to meet my end.
Please don't say that.
That's foreshadowing if ever I've heard it before.
I will see Rhaenyra ascend the Iron Throne, as Rhaenys wished. You yourself may do as you see fit.
I think he's going to name her Lord of the Tides.
Granddaughter.
You reckon?
Yeah. She's strong.
I would make you my heir.
I am blood and fire. Driftmark must pass to salt and sea.
Slight technicality then.
What do you want?
Your Grace.
You were correct in saying our best hope of an army is with Daemon. And I have perhaps erred in waiting for him to prove himself. I wish you to go to Harrenhal.
Talk to him for me.
Are you removing me from your council?
Nope.
Sir Alfred, I will not deny you have tried my patience of late. Or that I would prefer a council more inclined to champion their queen. But you and your house served my father well. And I know you will never accept the Hightower claim.
Not while I live, Your Grace.
We cannot challenge King's Landing without the Riverlands. But I will not send a message by Raven for Daemon to disregard. I ask you to...
Go and see to it yourself.
Reason with him. Find out his state of mind and his intentions. Whether he means to raise a host for me or for himself.
He would not dare.
If you know Daemon to lack in daring, go now with haste. I'll send good men to see to your safety.
I wouldn't fancy that mission.
Have you any message for him?
Tell him I would much like to finish our last conversation.
I'm worried Sir Alfred will just go to Daemon's side now.
You reckon?
Well,
It's possible.
Wouldn't you? If you couldn't safely get out of Harrenhal, if you end up there with Daemon, wouldn't you feel obliged?
I suppose, yeah, you might feel like you've got no choice.
Yeah.
Your Grace.
What is it,
What's up?
Sir Simon? Is the pudding now served?
The River Lords have come, Your Grace. They wish an audience.
Now? What godless hour is it?
The Wolf. They are demanding to speak presently.
What's the hour of the wolf? Like midnight?
Too bloody late.
Something with a moon?
/ early.
This feels ominous.
It does.
Is it a trap? It's not a trap, is it?
See, I must begin here with a lesson in etiquette. Failing that in proper fear of your Targaryen master.
I'm worried here.
Is there some reason you feel free to wake a king in his bed?
Is it a coup?
House Bracken have been brought to heel at the hands of Willem Blackwood.
The sacred septs on Bracken lands were looted and burned.
As were the fields and farms. The livestock was stolen, and our peasants put to the sword.
They pursued the women and the children. There were works of barbarity.
Punishing Bracken for his own treasons is one thing, aye. But these other acts...
The Brackens were given their chance. They would not see reason.
The Blackwoods have exploited the war for the crown to visit atrocities upon
I
their
have
old
seen my fair
rivals.
share of their quarrels, and I tell you there is no honor in a fight such as
Honor!
this.
What of common decency?
These beasts proudly carried the banner of House Targaryen. Red dragon on black.
So what are you going to do about it?
A terrible war is being fought in these lands.
Oh no. She's back.
Have you looked after our girls?
We should have expected nothing more from a man who ordered the slaughter of a child in his mother's arms.
That is a lie, and I will have the man who told it brought before me.
Oh, your man is half the kingdom, my prince.
The Riverlands are an ancient place. Watched closely by the eyes of old gods and new. We shall not raise our banners for a tyrant.
Why then?
Okay, so this is, that was Rhaenyra's handmaiden. So she's come to King's Landing, I'm guessing as a spy, maybe?
Yeah.
I have an errand for the Lady Mysaria.
I thought she was dead.
Would she die without collecting her due? I must see an old friend.
Wait, so did she
Wow.
used to work for Mysaria, like going way back then? How did she
Maybe.
end up as handmaiden to Rhaenyra? Interesting. Just seemed like she wasn't new to the gig. Oh!
Elinda.
No, they know each other.
They do.
And she was the one who worked for Alicent. Or Aegon. She was the one that Aegon was fooling around with, that Alicent got rid of in season 1.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Symbolic atmosphere? Perhaps? Hello.
Was it worth the price?
She knows, doesn't she?
Is this in his head? It's hard to tell. They're mirroring Damon and Aemond a lot, aren't they?
They are.
She can't even stay by his bedside. Oh. That's so awful. Oh, I feel so bad for Aegon.
Prince Jacaerys, Your Grace.
Oh God, this could be an interesting conversation coming up.
Visenya.
Vhagar's first rider, and the first wielder of Dark Sister.
I hope you do not mean to use her as an example.
Why shouldn't I?
Oh, it was a long time ago.
What is the mood at the Twins? Did his lordship quibble?
He wishes for the phrase to be granted Harrenhal at war's end, assuming.
I'm proud of you, Jace. You've done our cause a great service.
Was not expecting that.
I'm waiting for the but.
Then why do you look angry?
Because you're her son and she's worried about you?
You chafed at being prevented from action. Imagine my lord. I'm a dragon rider as well. With a war being fought over my ascension.
Okay, so she wants in on the action.
And yet I must wait here. Always prudent, sending others to fight and be felled in my name.
You are the queen, the tie that binds us. No harm can come to you.
And you are my son, and I did not give you leave to go.
You do not give me leave to go to anything. But who else is there? Rhaenys is dead and Baelor cannot bear the burden alone.
And when Aemond comes hunting for you, your dragon is young. Will you fly before Vhagar as Luke did?
Perhaps Daemon could...
Not be useless.
Daemon is not here.
Oh, shit.
And Aemond now rules in King's Landing.
Is Aegon dead?
Dead or alive, we have no answer for Vhagar. Aemond will not wait long to press his advantage. And then what? I have done all I can from here. Sent my messages, invoked my alliances. But if all else fails, it is I who must fight.
Could she go and get another dragon? I don't know
Vhagar
what
is
would
big,
help.
but Syrax is quicker.
So was Meleys.
Meleys fought 2 dragons and one of them is slain. Shall I fight for my birthright or shall I wait here until we are all destroyed? I need dragons.
Go get some more then.
We have 2 large enough to stand against Vhagar.
Send them all
They
at
are called
once.
Vermithor and Silverwing, and they sleep just beneath our feet.
Yes, and if only they had riders, none could stand against me.
There is Rhaena.
I would not risk it again.
There are those of our line who never ruled, those who married into other noble houses.
Who?
Their children born with other names.
A generation ago or more, blood would be thin.
And yet...
Who?
Dragon will only accept a dragon lord to ride it. Are you suggesting we put a Malister on a dragon? A Tarly?
It's better than death and defeat.
A Tarly? Yeah.
There are records here, surely, of our line and of those who fell out of it.
You might be onto something here, lad.
Are they just going to put random people in front of dragons and see who takes?
I mean, it's better than having 2 dragons without riders. It's
But it would help.
It could work.
Was Vermithor the one that Daemon went singing to in the last season?
And
Is
we're
that
going to
the-
leave it there.
Was that the end of the episode?
Yep.
That felt like a really... I guess because episode 4 was so nuts, they had
Yep.
to have more of a talking, strategizing kind of episode, but I kind of just want to watch another one now.
I know what you mean.
Can we?
It definitely seems like we've got that halfway point. We've had the really big battle,
Mm.
haven't we, up to that point? And now it's like, oh, what are we going to do from now? All the pieces are moving around a bit. All the conversations are happening, like you
Do you
said,
want to watch
so.
another one now?
I'm tempted. I am tempted.
Yay! For once he said yes. Right, okay. Let's do it. We'll say bye for this episode and see you very soon for the next one. Bye.
See ya.